Welcome, fellow lovers of the weird and strange. This is Lance, your host of Legends of the Hidden Horde, where we explore the folklore behind the mythical creatures that stalk the dark corners of our globe. A huge thank you to all of you for tuning in. Your ears make these strange journeys possible. If you enjoy the show, please hit that subscribe button, leave me a quick review, and give me a follow on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, or X. Your support truly makes a difference. Now, let's dive into the next story. In the deep hollows of the Ozarks, where limestone caves swallow secrets and rivers carve forgotten paths, something ancient stirs. Not the whisper of the wind through the cedar, nor the howl of a coyote under a blood moon. A sound born of hunger and rage, echoing from caverns where bones lie piled like warnings. In episode 31, we descend into the legend of the Gowrow, a beast of scales and sickles that haunted the hills of Arkansas. We tread carefully, honoring the indigenous peoples who have known these lands since time immemorial. The Osage, Caddo, Cherokee, and others whose stories of powerful water spirits and cave guardians predate the tall tales of settlers. Their respect for the balance of the wild offers a lens through which we view this shadow. It was the winter of 1897 when the Arkansas Gazette carried a tale that chilled readers from Little Rock to the remote townships of Searcy County. A traveling businessman named William Miller had ventured into the rugged Ozarks near Blanco in Calf Creek Township. Locals spoke in hushed tones of livestock vanishing, cattle torn asunder, hogs dragged into the night, dogs silenced mid-bark. Tracks led to sinkholes and riverbanks, massive web prints ending in claws that could rend stone. And always, that sound, a low vibrating Gowrow that froze the blood. Miller, skeptical yet intrigued, rallied a posse of hardy men. They tracked the beast under a leaden sky, following a trail of mutilated remains to a shadowed cave mouth. Inside, horror awaited. A charnel house of splintered bones, animal and human, skulls grinning from the dark, scraps of clothing clinging to them like accusations. As dusk bled into night, the earth trembled. From a nearby lake it emerged, 20 feet of nightmare, a reptilian horror armored in sickly green scales that gleamed like wet moss on graves. His head was ponderous, almost man-like in its bulk, dominated by two enormous tusks curving over its lower jaw, like scythes ready for harvest. Short, powerful legs ended in webbed feet, each toe capped with vicious claws suited for digging through earth or dragging prey into the depths. Along its spine bristled a row of short horns, jagged as broken flint. But deadliest was the tail, long, whip thin, tipped with a razor-sharp blade of bone that whistled through the air like a sickle at reaping time. The posse opened fire, rifles cracked, bullets sparked off of scales. The Gowrow roared, felling trees with sweeps of his tail, ripping the leg from one brave soul in a spray of blood. Yet volleys finally brought it down. Miller examined the corpse, noting its hybrid strangeness, part lizard, part something older, perhaps a relic that had outlived its era. He claimed the remains were crated and shipped to the Smithsonian. It never arrived. No record, no proof, only absence, which in the Ozarks speaks louder than bones. But this was no lone monster. Folklorist Vance Randolph, collector of Ozark tall tales, gathered accounts suggesting the Gowrow was a species, not a singular terror. Tales from the 1880s spoke of soft-shelled eggs as large as beer kegs, hatching in hidden nests. Mothers, it was said, carried the writhing young in pouches, protecting them until they could claim their own caves. Other accounts haunt the fringes. In Boone County, near the village of Self, lies Devil's Hole, a yawning cavern 3 miles northwest of Myrtle. Around the turn of the century, landowner E.J. Rose descended 200 feet on a rope into its black throat. A horrid hissing rose from below. He fled. Later, lowering a flat iron on a line to test the depth, something seized it, bending the metal or biting the rope clean through. Some whispered of indigenous spirits guarding the site. Others, a surviving Gowrow nursing ancient grudges. Explorations continue sporadically, but the hole keeps its counsel. Hoaxes swirled like mist. Showmen from Missouri paraded captured specimens, luring them with dried apples that swelled their bellies, trapping them outside burrows. Crowds paid their quarter only for the exhibitor to stagger out in rags, screaming of escape, inciting panic while he vanished with the coins. Classic Ozark humor, or a way to profit from fear? We must speak with respect here. The Ozarks were home to indigenous nations long before European settlers arrived with their newspapers and posses. Stories of powerful beings in caves and waters, guardians, shapeshifters, or forces of nature echo in Osage, Caddo, and Cherokee traditions. The Gowrow may layer settler exaggeration atop deeper indigenous awareness of the land's mysteries. Massive reptiles, spiritual entities, or metaphors for the untamed wild that demands reverence. We do not claim or appropriate these roots. Instead, we acknowledge the true understanding begins with listening to the original stewards who lived in harmony with these shadowed places, viewing such creatures not as monsters to slay, but as reminders of nature's sovereignty. Sightings and rumors lingered into the 1920s and beyond. Elderly hillfolk swore specimens survived, migrating between caverns. In one variant, a spelunker heard not just hissing, but scraping of sickle tail on stone. Modern cryptozoologists debate exaggerated alligator, or unknown giant lizard, or something stranger, a living fossil, a misidentified cryptid, or pure folklore born of isolation and wonder. No DNA, no photos, no body, only the enduring shadow. The Gowrow is more than scales and sickles. It embodies the unknown that lurks at the edges of maps and minds, the wild spaces we have not fully conquered or understood. It teaches humility. Our posses and rifles, our shipments to grand institutions, cannot cage every mystery. In slaying the beast, or claiming to, we confront our hubris, the belief that the natural world yields easily to human will. Respect for indigenous knowledge reminds us that these lands hold layered histories of coexistence with the powerful and strange, urging us toward stewardship rather than domination. In a future of shrinking wilderness and encroaching development, awakening dormant things from caves and depths, the Gowrow warns of consequences. What other relics stir as habitats change? Will we approach them with fear and fire, or with wisdom of those who came before, listening, learning, and preserving balance? The Gowrow's absent body is the greatest lesson. Some truths remain hidden, teaching us wonder, caution, and the profound interconnectedness of all life. In questioning the Gowrow, we question ourselves and perhaps ensure a future where mysteries endure, keeping the world strange and alive. That's it for the story of the Gowrow. For a deeper dive into the folklore, you can check out the links in the show notes. If you enjoyed the story, please hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast app. Give me a follow on social media. Until next time, keep your eyes open. You never know what might be lurking in the shadows.